I want to give you just a short talk about colors. You know, the yellows, the reds, and the blues, to talk about the warm blues, the warm yellows, the warm reds, and the cool yellows, the cool reds, and the cool blues, and where you would use them. So that's where it all starts, on the palette. So, let me explain this a little further, and then I'll give you some examples. So here's the palette. Let me explain. This is cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium yellow deep. This is supposed to be a cadmium orange, but it's not. It's still too light to be orange, but it's darker than the yellow deep. And then below that is cad yellow orange, which the way it should be, really rich. Down here is an earth color, yellow ochre. Now here are the reds: cadmium red light, cadmium red medium, cadmium red deep, alizarin crimson. And here's cerulean blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue. So all paint is either animal, vegetable, or mineral. For instance, the red, there's a red similar to alizarin. It's called rose madder, and it's made from the madder plant. When we use black, like bone black, that's from charred bones. Anyway, the cadmiums are the more modern colors. Many of the old masters used earth colors. But the point here is you have to know what's warm and what's cool. So the warm reds are up here at cad red light, and they go down to the medium, deep, and then alizarin. So alizarin is very cold. And where would you use that? If you want to push something away in the distance of a landscape, you'd cool off a violet with that red. You'd mix ultramarine blue and alizarin and have a very cold violet. So in the sky, you have cerulean blue towards the sun, then it moves into the cobalt blue, and further away from the sun, you'd have ultramarine blue. So it's getting redder as you go away. You're losing yellow. You see, you're using the intensity of the yellow as you go away. So that's the same with the yellows. And, like I said, the yellow ochre has a grayness to it. The earth colors are a little different, but it's good to compare that to the other richer yellows. So let me give you some examples in my paintings to make this even clearer. So now in this portrait, I have the warmer reds and the lighter flesh tones. But as I move away, to the darker side of the head, I'm using the cooler reds. I could use a cad red medium here. And even in the lips, cad red medium is really a good color for the lips. But the general flesh tone might have some cad red light mixed with yellow ochre and white. So I want to just point that out, where you might use a cool red and a warm red in the portrait. Okay, here's a still life of apples. Very simple painting. So I'm using a lighter yellow here, and my lighter reds, cad red light, cad yellow light. Then if I want to go away from that, I use a cooler yellow and a cooler red. You see, until over here, I'm even into my cad red deeps and alizarin, because I'm going away from the light. And so that's why I want to use cooler colors. If I come towards the light, I'll use the warmer yellows and the warmer reds. That sounds pretty simple, and it is. One of the best ways to illustrate the blues is to think of the sky. And where the direction of the sun is, that's where you'll have your cerulean blue. It's coming in this way, and then it comes into the cobalt, and then the ultramarine way over here. See, there's also a progression vertically. Way up high, it would be, outside of this painting, it would be ultramarine blue coming down into cobalt blue and coming down into cerulean blue. There are progressions. So, blue isn't just blue, just like red isn't just red, and yellow isn't just yellow. We have to know how to use these different yellows, reds, and blues. And, you know, you learn color by painting. You don't learn it from, you know, these color charts or things, you know. Yep, you learn it by observing nature, whether it's in the studio or plein air. That's where you learn color. And progressions. You know, we talked about landscape progressions where your warm, rich, warm colors come forward and your cool colors go back. But that's just a brief idea on reds, yellows, and blues. And sometime we'll talk about all the optional colors, like the phthalos. I didn't put phthalo blue on the palette. I should have. It's a very cold blue. You know, if you mix it with white, it looks like a cerulean blue. So, and then there are the Quinacridone colors. They're the earth colors and the glazing colors. So we'll go over all those in the next tutorials.